Dwight Eisenhower, a man who knew war too well to glorify it, gave us a parting gift, a warning. He told us to beware of the military-industrial complex, that hydra of profit and patriotism, where war is not a tragedy but an industry. And we did not listen. We threw caution to the wind. Hell, we hurled it, all four directions at once, and then outspent every industrialized nation combined, as if we were afraid of waking up one morning and discovering ourselves defenseless. And yet it's impossible not to feel some pride in the military of the United States, and if not pride, at least awe. We are a juggernaut at half the size, a leviathan, an unstoppable force without an immovable object to meet. But the absurdity is this: we pretend we must keep growing, as if the only thing stopping the barbarian hordes from ransacking Kansas City is another fleet of F-35s. But war is no longer a necessity. No nation needs to expand beyond its borders. We've built a global economy that allows us to have everything we need, except apparently peace. We've convinced ourselves that spending more on defense than on education and health care is a sign of strength. In reality, there's a return to the primal state, the howling, knuckle-dragging, club-wielding insecurity of the caveman. And while we drown in our own fear, they sell us another aircraft carrier. And Jesse Waters and whatever other soft-palmed demagogue shares his desk will sit in their fine suits, manicured and manic in their certainty, and lecture us on what it means to be a man. They'll tell us men fight wars, men allow assault on women, and that men sneer at initiatives of diversity and inclusion. But I was raised by men, real men, tough men, farmers with hands like worn leather, men who stood when they could have stayed seated, men who knew that strength is not brutality and manliness is not some golden idol to be worshipped. I was taught to hold my head high, to work with dignity, to stand up for the marginalized, to speak for those who cannot, and above all, to be gracious. If it kills you, be gracious. These were not ideals of manliness, as if being a man were some divine ordination. These were simply the ways a decent person conducts themselves on this earth. And now the world aligns against us because of the reckless mouth of a feckless fool. We could be great, truly great, but greatness does not come from walls or tariffs or military parades. It comes from policy, from coordination with our neighbors. We do not need walls. We need free trade and immigration reform that fosters labor, that builds industry across borders, that creates stability across North America, so we are not drowning in our own weight while our neighbors struggle in the dust. The old order is collapsing. Neoliberalism, for all its past effectiveness, is no longer a viable answer to new problems. The economic landscape has shifted, but we will remain tethered to the same failed dogma: tax cuts for the rich, the absurd fantasy that we will all be millionaires if we just believe hard enough, and that Jesus loves a rich man, and we have poisoned our own people with these delusions. Voltaire said it is dangerous to be right when the government is wrong, but I am mouthy and I am angry because it is also dangerous to starve quietly in the street. Defiance till death, y'all.